All right, welcome back to the Team Draft Super League, week 5 now, first week of the second round. Gotta say, I'm getting pretty sick of being on the team that didn't open a Glory Bringer. Not really about that.
Yeah. Lucky Steve.
So is it Steve and Sam that we have?
No, we're watching Hayne and Sam, I believe.
Hayne and Sam. Okay, good. They were further away from each other. Hayne, I was looking through his draft viewer. Looks like he's Jund.
Yeah. He
done good stuff.
Deep. His card quality is like fairly high. His low card stuff's kind of bad, but like he's got a lot of first pick cards and then a lot of like 13th pick cards. So.
Yeah, well, looks like he started off Zombies, which has been kind of a bellwether archetype in this format. I've noticed, where like basically if in a 6-man team draft, if one person is playing Zombies, their deck is bonkers and their team's a huge favorite, and if 2 people are playing Zombies, you really don't want them both to be on your team.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, the synergy cards kind of get spread out that way, and then your deck kind of gets diluted, and you end up having Scorpions in your deck instead of Cursed Minotaurs. Right,
but it's interesting because you really can't afford to let the other team get all of it, but you can't afford to fight your own team for it. So it's in an interesting spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting balance of trying to read people and find out if you're the only one in the archetype.
Right. It looks like this draft, Steve and Alex both started off Zombies, so they were kind of taking enough of it from each other that both of them ended up spreading out a little bit from that. Which was a good break.
Steve's just said he opened Glorybringer and didn't look back.
That was back 3.
He also, I think he got a Deemworthy through you. I believe you were on my left. I'm not exactly sure because the way the
that's what happened. I took Magma Spray over it.
Yeah, you took Magma Spray.
That's how it went.
Yeah, and kind of. I wouldn't say it roped him into red because I think he just was black white in the draft.
It didn't even matter almost what he had picked up to that point with that pack. Like he was clearly taking the Deemworthy and speculating or hate drafting or whatever. You just have a Deemworthy then, and you know, no saying whether he was going to end up taking a bunch of red cards or not. But
so like from what I saw and know of the draft, I haven't actually looked at the draft viewer yet, but I feel kind of like you guys might have a good matchup against our decks. Our decks are much slower than yours, I think. I don't know the quality of the cards in your decks, but I know essentially that all of you are either red, white, or blue or something like that, and have like fast decks, Slither Blades potentially, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we ended up with all of the Jeskai, save for like a little bit of red on a couple of your teammates, and you guys have all the green-black.
Yeah,
we didn't touch any of that. Split it up really smoothly. I took a Cartouche of Strength second that you passed me, and then you pushed me right out.
Oh yeah, that was the toughest pick of the draft, and like basically I actually had my in an 8-man draft I would have almost certainly just taken Cartouche there, but basically Hayne and I and Steve did like a Skype call before last week. And we kind of just like did a re-review of the set and discussed some of the things that might change within, the team draft thing, like what cards might get a little better, what cards might get a little worse, etc. And one of the things that Hayne pointed out is he had done several team drafts at the Pro Tour, and he said that I think it was against Reed even that Decimator Beetle was crushing everyone, and it's much harder to deal with in team draft. So I just kind of remembered that. It's like, all right, I'm going to take Decimator Beetle.
All right, sounds like we got some magic ready. All right. Yeah, so Sam's this white-blue aggro deck that our team likes a lot. I think it's been a lot of people have had good results with it. We've noticed, actually, this is a little tip for people for Sealed. Doesn't matter for Magic Online, but for IRL Magic, there's in the print run, white cartouche always appears next to blue cartouche, which has a weird effect on sealed decks where you can end up with multiples of each, like at a high rate, and get this really, really good, really hard to interact with white-blue aggressive deck like Sam is featuring here.
Yeah, that's good to know that if you see one, you can expect to see the other.
Right. You can't really do anything about it in a sealed, but it just goes to say that like that deck just pops up a lot as an available option, and it's a good deck. So
yeah. So it looks like Sam's potentially might stumble, but he's got plays for the next couple turns. Alex would really like to be able to cast Magma Spray on that True Heart Duelist. Yes. He's probably just going to end up cycling the Stinging Shot.
Yeah, very smart to main deck that Stinging Shot. It's a great, not even that smart, because it's obvious when you guys have all the green black and we have all the white and blue that you're main decking your Stinging Shots. But Stinging Shot's a card that's gone up and up in my estimation as white has, become white is just clearly the boogeyman of the format. And if you don't want to die to Gust Walkers and Talkrops Elites, you just main deck your Stinging Shots in your green decks so you can keep up.
Yeah. Obviously, when you guys had all the white and blue, we saw multiple Aven Wind Guides, and I passed some late Aven Initiates in your direction. So that was actually the last edition that I had Hayne put in the deck.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Yep. This matchup is pretty clearly going to be the story of Sam's attempt to get underneath Hayne's more powerful cards. If we see stuff like Javelin, if that comes online,
this is going to be an interesting play. So I think what Hayne's going to do is, I guess he tapped out for the Anointed Priest. So Hayne just gets to cartouche and kill the True Heart Duelist. But if Sam chose not to cast that, he would have been able to Mighty Leap, which would have then allowed Alex, if he played his forest first, to Stinging Shot the True Heart Duelist.
Stinging Shot is an answer to Mighty Leap. That's dirty. That is pretty bad. We saw something like that almost happen in the limited resources draft, where Marshall had like Stinging Shot in and got Mighty Leap to death. He had a Stinging Shot in that was like real borderline. Like his opponent had like one flyer in his deck or something, and then his opponent like Mighty Leaped. If he had it, it would have been insane.
Alex gets to Stinging Shot the Aven Wind guy there, and then eat the token that was attacking. And now he can mount an offense and play this Colossopede.
Oh man.
Alex's almost straight 3-color deck here appears to be punished.
This has played out pretty well for Hayne so far, though. He's at a high life total. He's not in danger of dying to this Mighty Leap or anything. Now we're at the point where all of Sam's lands are atrocious draws, and his cards are very low impact.
Yep, absolutely.
I guess we have a graveyard. We have a graveyard.
He does have that stuff in the graveyard.
Okay. I knew about the Wind Guide. I didn't know we were actually getting a guy this turn. That changes things considerably.
Yeah. He also has a duelist.
A lot of damage coming our way still. Going to be hard to find time to leverage all those while we're... if Hayne doesn't play any more spells, then maybe. But...
Yeah, that's what's punishing him here. The third color. Just any kind of dork would be fine to play here, but...
Right. So if we get to 2 spell here, which is pretty big game. I think the Anointed Priests are very quickly going to become gain 5s and on the front side, and we're going to be into that.
Yep. Even more, they can jump block multiple times, and Alex isn't going to have much to get through with.
Well, I'm told deck lists are now in the draft viewer. Let's see if that is true.
Alex attacking with just the Colossopede.
Chat wants to know if I'm casting from the VIP room of a strip club. At least they gave me credit for VIP.
Justin in the champagne room. So it looks like
we're using that Mighty Leap defensively.
Yeah.
It's going to work out.
Yeah, it's... See how Alex orders blockers here.
Obviously it's better if he puts the priest first, but,
It is.
It doesn't make it doesn't make much
The
difference
question
from
is,
our
does he want to make
perspective.
it a flying creature, or does he want to slow the game? Well, I guess it's going to be a long time before he decides to embalm that, but
Right. All right. Now Hayne's in some trouble because he's got this Dune Beetle doesn't interact against what Sam's doing anymore since we're now about the Flyers. He just had no spells anymore and no offense. He's going to need to draw his way out of this color screw pretty quickly.
Sam gets to loot because of the Mighty Leap.
That a catcher's attendant that I missed in the graveyard was everything.
Yeah.
You take that over Gustwalker, right?
That is
tough.
one of the picks. It's like I had like 7 picks I wanted to talk to my team about, like when I had that Skype call, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
I think we decided on attendant, especially in team draft, but it's pretty tempting. And
it's so hard because nobody ever had too many Gustwalkers. Not a single person. It's never like, oh, Gustwalker. Oh, I got past another Gustwalker. Damn it. Like, oh, good. I have 3 Gustwalkers. Can't lose.
Let's see if Alex chooses to cast Splendid Agony here. Okay. Kill a creature and put a counter on either the attendant or the wind guide. I suspect he would put it on the wind guide? Maybe not. Because he wants to be able to magma spray whatever one's left over, so the wind guide makes all the embalmed creatures in his graveyard flying, where the attendant's just a bigger creature on its own. So I think he would put it on the wind guide. Also, the wind guide is a worse blocker. They all have vigilance now, so that's not relevant.
We do have deck lists up now for those that are interested. So now I can actually see the full amount of what's in Alex's deck here and see what he's drawing. Oh, there's a Samet lurking in there. Wow, you guys have all the great mythics.
Yeah.
What else does he have? A couple of Wandering Dusts. He's drawn all his removal. As far as another Magma Spray.
Well, yeah, other than the red removal, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So his best card is Samet, and it's not good now. So there's not a lot that he's actually drawing to right here. He's played Cartouche.
He needs Fountain, and that's only to slow the bleeding. I don't think he can really get back into this.
Yeah, now that he's back-footed. So this is a little awkward for Alex because he's got 2 Dune Beetles actually in his deck, which is a card I do not like that much. Obviously, team draft, you make do with what you have, but that's sort of the weekend of Black's early game. And it's just like, you need it against Sam because he has early ground attackers, but he's going to switch to unblockable and flying damage, and those Dune Beetles are going to be very, very bad late.
Yep. It's exactly like you don't want to top deck them. They're something to keep your life total high early in the game, and then they can't
and you don't, against Sam, you don't want to have them and not close. It's not even just not top decking them. If you're not closing, then your opponent will win around them, or Absolutely. Sam will win around them very easily.
And Sam's just going to attack with all his flyers here, and Alex is posturing. We're going to have a game 2. But yeah, this is what I was saying. Typically in limited formats, historically, I've noticed that black-green decks in general are extremely weak to flying creatures. The removal tends to be expensive. Your creatures don't line up correctly, and so...
and it's just, you have to have it.
Yeah.
You have to have it. Like, your guys don't kill them. Your guys are bigger, but, they don't kill faster than their guys. Like, your guys aren't better for the...
Yeah. Especially when, like, Anointer Priest can jump block twice, gain a life, whatever. Like, when you start racing that way, it's just not going to work out for you. So now we're going to sideboarding. I suspect Alex is going to do some sideboard. He had a few options. I don't know if any of them are particularly good. Oh, he ended up not playing the Spring to Mind. I told him to play. I just wanted another Rampant Growth in his deck. But looks like he's going to put... He's eyeing a Painful Essence. Oh, okay. Justin, are you there? I think we may have lost Justin. And Sam's screen appears to be frozen. But yeah, I don't expect too much sideboarding out of Hayne here. So we'll be getting a game 2 shortly. Just see if I can figure out what's going on here. Okay. Oh, all right. It's all of Team Madison seems to have went down. Their internet probably crashed or something, it appears. So Justin and Sam are both gone. So, yeah, I don't really see much for Alex to do to improve his matchup. He can make some small changes with his weaker cards and put other weak cards in his deck. But if I was him, I would be eyeing the Spring to Mind, because I just want to be able to cast my red spells. I think they're important in this matchup. Magma Spray against Embalmed creatures is pretty important. And like Justin said before, closing the game out early is pretty important, because if the game gets into a stalemate where Alex can't attack on the ground, then Sam's just going to be able to win in the air. Let me see if I can pull the chat open or something and on Twitch and maybe talk to some of the viewers. 1 second, guys. All right. Delete this here. Okay. They're trying to get back. We talked to them, so just hold tight. We'll get them back. Chat, have any questions? I can see you guys now, so.
And I'm back.
And Justin is back.
How did it go?
There was a little bit of panic on this side, but it worked out okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, our internet situation over here is, it's like Belgium level. Like.
Right.
All right, looks like we're ready to go for game 2. Anything interesting happening in the sideboarding? It didn't look like. Obviously you guys knew what color combination. Like when the colors are so tilted like that, you just pre-board. So.
I didn't get to see what Hayne was just messing around with whatever last card he had in. I think he may have put in a Painful Lessons, which I guess is his way of trying to smooth out his draw and find his red mana.
Right.
I would prefer just
card to bring in against Triple Slitherblade.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know the deck list yet, so he didn't even see one Slitherblade game.
So
all he saw was a bunch of ground guys with big
have the list. He doesn't know how serious Sam is.
Yeah. Did Sam end up getting the Throne of
No
Pharaohs? Is that what it's called?
God Pharaoh, Throne of the God Pharaoh.
Yeah.
No, he did not.
That's good.
Not a card I've ever seen. Like, I think I've lost to that card once, but it didn't even look good then. It was just like, all right, that's like another dude. But like, I've never really seen that card play. Every time I've seen anyone try to do it, they always had like multiple Vigilance guys.
Yeah, that does happen on Wavering Initiates, the Even Wind Guide.
Cartouche tokens. There's just a bunch of start tokens. Like, they're just all Vigilant.
Yeah. That is true. A lot of those creatures do have Vigilance. All right, so we got Sam's hand cam up.
So Hayne's gonna, a lock to cycle this Greater Sandworm if he doesn't draw a Dune Beetle or the like for 2, and he's got Splendid Agony on 3. So his early game is starts respectably for keeping one color in a 3-color deck.
Yeah. He's definitely going to end up cycling the Gravedigger. He might even cycle it even if he draws Dune Beetle if he's not facing anything down.
Right.
But yeah, he gets to get it back with Gravedigger, so just a little value to and hopefully we find him that mountain that he needed.
I'm looking at the chat. Did Severa win game 1 on the other side? That's what it looks like from the chat.
Let me see. I don't see it. Did Severa win? Chat?
Game 1, I think, only.
Okay. Ooh, Hayne found his red mana.
Yes,
Sam's got a
did.
pretty explosive draw here. Hayne at least has the cards to make this a game.
Right.
With the Splendid Agony and Magma Spray, which is
and value. Like Hayne's draw is great now. Yeah, his draw is great now.
Yeah. Sam wisely decides to play those who serve instead of the Slither Blade.
Well, he knows what Hayne's options are for removal. It's, yeah. That's people that aren't playing this might not understand exactly how far. Oh, sorry, Sam doesn't actually know Hayne's removal. This is still the first round. They don't have.
Sam shouldn't have his deck list, but he did see these cards in the draft and whatnot, and he just knows what the removals in these.
What's available to be cast for that mana? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's no need to go for a cartouche or anything. Expose yourself. Like, spend all your mana, sure, but
surprisingly, I think Unburden was the card that came in. Interesting choice.
Yeah. Also,
work here.
It could. Sam has a lot of guess. You get to when you're in Embalm deck, you sometimes get to discard, half cards, which is
that's why it was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Let's see what Sam chooses to do here. If he's going to play the Seeker, or if he's going to play a Slither Blade. Ooh, he's going to play a Slither Blade and cartouche it right up. It looks like to protect you from Magma Spray. Great play by Sam. I imagine this is tough. Unburden also makes the Pitless Vizier indestructible.
Looks like he's getting busy. Doesn't see how he can play defense effectively with his 4-2, which I understand. It doesn't line up right against the current offense.
No, what he could have done is just played a land and passed, and then
Splendid Agony.
I mean, I guess he's figured out that Sam basically knows the removal he's working with, but he could have just played a land and passed and left up a block on those who serve, Splendid Agony that, and the Slither Blade or the token, and then cycled the Unburden to keep his Pitless Vizier alive. This is clearly a race he's not winning, so I think in this spot I probably would have just decided to play a little bit of defense, but...
Yeah, is he too scared of something like... Yeah, I mean, I think I like your line, because the things that blow it out, like, if Sam has, like, Winds of Rebuke or something, I don't see how Hayne is beating that card. Like, so...
Yeah.
Like, play
like
anything... I was going for the hand.
Like Hayne just wants to deal with what's on the board, and cast the Unburden, but I mean, Sam does have True Heart Duelists in his graveyard, so he's not even going to lose a play next turn. And not only that, Sam knows that his deck's full of Embalm creatures, so it looks like he just opts to play Gravedigger, which plays reasonable defense against the Seeker and the Warrior, but with he can just move the Hone Kapesh over to either one of those creatures to push it through. Looks like Sam.
Chad, I do not think we should ban Sam Black. I would be against that. Too hasty.
I would also.
Let's see how the next set plays before we ban Sam. It might fix everything.
So it looks like Alex is going to need to do some kind of Splendid Agony Magma Spray on the Oracle Attendant.
Yeah, he's going to need.
That's what I would be looking to do here.
Yeah,
and probably just putting a counter on the Slither Blade and trying to preserve his life total.
Yeah, that clock needs to be slowed down because again, Hayne can't turn the corner that quickly. Certainly not against a board like this. So that Slither Blade, he needs that clock to be slower than it is.
Yeah, and he needs to try to actually race it with this Greater Sandworm.
He's going to do all that on his turn, presumably, right? You think?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't quite understand.
Can't risk anything happening.
If I'm Sam here, I just block with the Seeker and the Warrior, and I would have just thrown the Warrior in front of it too. And if Hayne wants to use a spell, then that's fine. If not, I'm trading a 1/1 for a 2/2. But
yeah, I think
now we have one less blocker. Sam decides to move the Honkapesh around.
Yeah, the thing is, with the board the way it is, Sam, I think I agree with Sam not double blocking there because he doesn't care about a tapped guy. He just wants to get more damage in. Like, if that warrior hits him, any more damage he takes is like fewer turns that the Slither Blade is going to give him.
Yeah.
So I think I like that not double block there.
You have another cartouche here.
So as far
right
as
on the Slither Blade, this is going to turn into a 3-turn clock.
Right, and Alex is not deep on, like, he plays 2 Magma Sprays, a Splendid Agony, a Javelineer, and 1 green cartouche, so he needs a green cartouche for that Slither Blade, basically, and that's, like, more or less...
Yeah, he's going to probably cycle the Unburden here, and then hopefully his plan would be to draw cartouche, cycle his Greater Sandward potentially to keep his Pitiless Vizier, so he has a blocker for the following turn, and a 5/3 Trampler on the board.
Javeliner maybe buys him enough time, but those are like basically the only 2 cards, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is not those.
So I think he just has to cycle the Sandworm here to
find it here.
Yeah, give the Pitiless Vizier indestructible and see if he can find that cartouche.
Yeah, he gets to do one thing either way, so makes sense to me.
Either way, he'll get to add the Colossopy to the board if he wants to, or hold up Magma Spray. And if he ends up putting Colossopede in play, it's not the worst because he can still rip at the cartouche on the following turn and kill the Slither Blade.
Yeah. Update. Go
ahead.
Update from the other round is that Matt had actually lost the first game, but he won the second. So.
Oh, okay.
We're going to 3.
All right, Steve, draw Glory Bringer, please. So yeah, Hayne's really in the tank here. He's considering it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hayne is one of the best players I've ever seen. He always finds the right line. So like I really, even tanking that, like I had no doubt he would find it. But
I really like watching him on camera. Like, he's one of those players that when he's like, he's almost always is, but when he's in the zone and he's on camera, he's one of my favorite people to just watch, just make mincemeat out of people, just outplay them from like, such worse positions and such worse cards, and just very maximally casually just crush them. Like,
yeah, I was thinking earlier, I'm like, why do they always have me commentating on Hayne? He just makes me look stupid half the time. I say things like, yeah, you should do this, but he's a brilliant kid and one of the best players I've ever played against.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We've got a plan.
Yeah.
We've got a man, a plan, and a Khopesh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 3. So I guess, yeah, we're still
alive if we find it now.
Yeah, but doesn't look like we drew it. So
the blade has spoken.
Hayne is just going to scoop him up, I believe. Yeah. So yeah,
all right.
Looks like
and now,
Madison beats us again. Those who don't know, the last Team GP that them boys played together was GP Louisville, and in the Swiss rounds we lost 2 rounds, and it was both to Team Madison. And then we wanted to get our vengeance in the finals, but we lost in the top 4 before we could do
that. Is this your squad for Cleveland?
No, actually. Hayne made an early commitment with Rich and Tom Martell. I think Tom just desperately needs points and had to beg Hayne, and so Hayne was like, "Fine, get you off my back." And, so me and Steve are playing with Joel instead in Cleveland.
Oh, that's not bad. Joel is such a great. He has different. He's always floating around. He doesn't have like a set squad, but the squad he's on is always great, and it's always great for them that he's on it.
Yeah, he's a terrific limited player. One of the people that I played a lot of limited in my life, and one of the people that I like learn things from is Joel still. Where I go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He's very good at teaching people and that stuff. So I'm pretty happy to play with Joel if I can't play with Hayne.
Yep. Seeing comments in the chat from some other people we played in Louisville. I actually had one of the nicest things I've ever read about myself on Reddit, of all places, the other day, where somebody was talking about having their proudest Magic accomplishment being winning a game off of me while losing to our team during our 9-0 run in Louisville.
I think I maybe got a game off you. I played you both times and you crushed me both times. But yeah, that's probably my proudest Magic accomplishment.
Yeah, I assumed. I think if we ask Santa nicely, we might be as soon as they get it set up, coming over to the other game to see the end of hopefully real Caracal running all over Glorybringers that weren't drawn. But
Glorybringer right now, I assume, is exerted, and Matt has no board, and Steve's just gonna have to wait another turn to untap it. But we'll have to see if that's just my dream or if that's actually reality.
Oh, Glorybringer.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
In Steve's defense, he really needs that Glorybringer. His deck was not particularly
like not his deck, him personally.
Yeah, both, I think. Yeah. But would you say that you guys did you like your decks when you saw your teammates' decks? And do you think you guys had good decks?
Oh, Sam's deck's great. I like Sam's deck. Like I like that archetype.
Terrific.
He's got all right. We got more Magic.
Ooh, awesome.
No Glorybringer. All right, we dodged it.
All right, yeah, of course, no Glorybringer. Oh, there's the Throne of the God Pharaoh. It's being paired with all those mediocre 2-drops.
Yeah, while our opponent's at 20, I've had better.
Yeah.
All right, our guys are better as 2/4s. Oh, is this the turn? Is this business turn?
I don't really know what would happen.
Nope.
I think so. Oh.
This is not playing out like a game that we win. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, I will agree with you here.
White-red aggro against black-red control. Boards are the same. Everyone has plenty of mana, and we're all at 20.
See how I think Steve will block here. Steve? Huh. It's actually interesting. All of Steve's creatures are so much better than these nimble things that he may yeah.
They're not good. Sometimes you need creatures, Siggy. Sometimes you need creatures.
But I'm just saying,
you don't get to play Throne of the Geth if you don't play all your medium creatures.
I may have just thrown my Doom Dissenter in the trash there to prevent 2 damage, especially when I'm down.
Yeah,
but Steve has an idea of his deck, his opponent's deck, way more than I do.
True. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying though. Like the Doom Descenter's so cheap right now. I know it seems like life is cheap when you're at 20, but like he's just in such good control of this game. If he doesn't get
he just doesn't out, chipped out, and like he doesn't actually lose any material sacrifice.
Yeah, right. And there's a throne
he's probably just going to throw the counter on it.
Right. No, he definitely is. But this isn't so much better than having a zombie with a counter on it and a little life. But I agree with you, but I don't think it's going to matter much. We're going to need quite a sequence of draws. Real Caracal would get it started out. That guy's not on time. That guy definitely very tardy.
Though it is a nice combo with the throne, right? If the game stalls out, he can just...
Yeah, chat, of course he can afford to take 4. The question is not whether he could afford to. The question is whether his best equity was in taking 4. And the Doom Dissenter was just cheap, and if he doesn't get burned out by... Remember, he doesn't have deck lists right now. He has played 2 games against Matt, but, Brute Strength Fling is a thing people do in this format, and, you just don't want to fall into range of that in a game where there's really no other way you could lose. Which is a slight exaggeration of Steve's position, but he's doing very well.
Yeah.
I mean, for all he knows, there's like a white trial or whatever lurking in Matt's deck. Sadly, I know that that's not the case.
So Steve can't quite get down to enough to where this Neheb-the-worthies. Steve's getting aggressive here, going to make an attack. I think we'll see Matt just take it, and well, I guess he's going to put creatures on it. This could go really poorly with the final reward.
Yeah, this is not what I expected at all.
Yeah, if I were in Matt's spot here, I think I'd just take it and try to have another big draw step. And just get a bunch of damage.
I'd be interested to hear Matt's thinking, because this feels like the kind of block that I would make and lose. This does not feel like
on that Severa block.
Yeah, it does not feel right. Chad is asking me to explain equity to them. What I was trying to say, basically, like I was trying to point out that the question of whether he could afford to take it was like slightly like, yes, that's information, but it's not the full answer. Like you do want to know if you can afford to take it, because if you can't, then you have to block. But just because you can afford to take it doesn't mean it's the best play. Yeah. That is the difference between being able to afford to take it and having it be the best equity to take it.
Yeah, the best equity is simply, you know, you might be 90% to win a game. If you make one play and 89%, you're losing 1% of equity when you make a different decision.
How's equity? How similar you are to Sam Black? They do call me Black Sam.
Well, see, here we go. Here's one of those big draw steps I was talking about.
Right. If we had a bigger board.
Let's pretend he took the damage here. He would have been to cast 2 spells, get 2 prowess triggers, and get 2 blockers out of the way.
Yep.
That said, that would be at a very low life total. He'd be facing down a lot of damage, so maybe it wouldn't have been particularly great. But he'd
be at 12.
Yeah, he would have been at 12, and he'd be facing down. Very likely the Neheb would be turned on, and he'd be facing
forcing blocks, though. Forcing blocks, because we're talking about 3 power guy, 3 power guy, 3 power guy, 2 power guy. Yeah. That's not that much power in the Throne of Death, a little extra. Yeah. Honestly, his best chance, not saying this was the right play, but his best chance might have been chump blocking the Manticore with, like, the Inciter.
Potentially.
Given what he drew.
Yeah, especially with Cartouche, which would give a top decked creature haste as well.
Right.
The ability is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, this is kind of a tough spot. Now he can get 2 blockers out of the way. He's still going to only deal at most 6 damage with the 2 Nimble Blades, and then another 4 with the Throne. That won't happen. Some of the creatures will die in combat, etc. So he wouldn't. He'd be in a lot of trouble if he tries to make this his big turn, I think.
Yeah, I think he's just going to have to pacify the Manticore.
Yeah.
And, you know, imagine that somehow this game going longer favors him.
Yes. You put it on the Neheb so that he can get... Ooh, he is going to make a big attack here, it seems.
Chat, I've never not been complimented by being compared to Sam.
Yeah, this actually makes sense. Yeah, I think if he did save his creatures, he'd be in great shape here.
Yeah,
I guess another line of reasoning for what Matt did was that his Cartouche was going to be exposed to a removal spell.
To the removal spell.
Yeah, so, but by doing this, he kind of baited out the removal spell, which the Cartouche was an important part of his plan. I don't know if it was as important as 2 creatures, but it was still an important part of his plan.
Yeah.
So if I'm Steve here, I'm definitely just throwing something in front of that.
Had Steve been leaving up final reward, he had just been continuing to play creatures, though, right? He wasn't like leaving up a bunch of mana.
No, but the idea is that if he had a removal spell in his hand, he would have been able to leave it up. And Matt doesn't. He may have signaled the removal spell, but he may not have had anything else. His hand could have been like a land or 2 removal spells or whatever. So this way, he gets to get Steve to use his mana and get an attack in. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I think Matt knows that he's really got to get damage in because this game is just getting much, much worse for him as it progresses.
Oh, especially
because the converted mana cost in Steve's deck per draw step is much higher than Matt's, which means his cards are just going to be much more powerful in the long run.
Well, yeah, I mean, he also has 9 mana to spend in hand, plus one of them is fire breathing versus 0. And we've got a pacifism on a creature that has an ability while it's in play. Like,
ooh, we even get to drain for 1 here.
Oh man, the other day I saw an Archfiend if near get pacifism. That was a sad time.
Yeah, that's not exactly the best. Ooh, huge draw step from Steve.
No, see, that was perfect for us. We were already losing this game. Now he's used up some of his Glorybringer percentage on this already checkmarked game. Equity. That's one less you get later.
Yeah. So I would see, he can deal 9, 12, 14. He can deal 14 damage, but that's not enough.
Go for it.
I don't think if I'm him, I'm just
Glorybringer attack just with Glorybringer.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I think it's the safest play. You just take the nimble. I mean, the other thing.
Man, he's all the way down to 8. God,
you could just kill the 2 and send with the team, but I think that's way too risky.
Yeah, if we had those creatures, we really could have been in this game. And then we probably still would have lost to this Glorybringer, and I would have felt worse about it.
Yeah, so let's see how Steve attacks here. This is interesting. He could attack with the Plague Belcher too, because it isn't, it's unblockable essentially right now. If Matt draws a removal spell, he gets in for 5-8 damage. Or no, because Steve will still be able to block with the Watchful Dead if he kills the Manticore. So yeah, I think just playing to slowly chip off these creatures. If Matt draws a land at any point, then it just about over. We just played that pacifism too. We play the pacifism. Here comes the Glorybringer. Yeah.
True story. I have never remembered a lose life trigger off Plague Belcher in my life. That card does not have that text as far as I'm concerned.
That is an interesting attack. I'd much prefer attack with a Plague Belcher here for the attack. Yeah, I don't hate this attack. I think it's fine. Wow.
Yes. It's in the wide range of things that aren't going to lose him the game. Although that was a very interesting choice. That's the fear. That's the fear. He's feeling it. He's like, I'm not saying it was wrong.
Wow.
Whoa! Hacks! Come on.
Of course, Steve's still making me look stupid, taking out the correct creature, it seems.
Clear hacks. Not even being subtle about it.
Yeah, so it looks like he's just going to play that and pass now.
Yes, it does. All right.
I think if I'm Steve here, I might just cycle this Desert Ceradon. It's pretty slow. He'd much rather draw a cheaper spell and be able to cast.
Well, he'd much rather cast the Sure Shot next turn for sure than the Ceradon.
Yeah, exactly. And I think having a access to another removal spell or just another spell in general would be good.
Yeah, it's a little bit close for me because I don't want to flood out at this point. But does Matt even have removal for this Glorybringer now that he's played the pacifism? Or the deck list?
I don't know.
And he does not.
Okay, so
he has a fan bearer. So
yeah, that's going to be too slow. It just gets eaten by the Glorybringer the turn it gets cast, thanks to the Bloodlust Inciter biting the dust. Maybe that was one of the reasons that Steve decided to kill the Bloodlust Inciter, is that it could turn on the fan bearer if he drew a turn or two later.
I'm really hopeful that Sam has a better matchup against Steve than Matt did with all of his Embalm guys against all of this removal. Although, to be fair, a bunch of Steve's removal does exile, but even so, if you're trying to kill guys and they come back,
it's multiple final rewards, but they're really slow.
Yeah, they are. Do you still have that at the top, Black Common?
Final reward?
Yeah,
I never did.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I did for day one or whatever.
Right. Of course.
After my first few drafts, I had Splendid Agony because I thought the black decks were defensive and needed a way to beat decks like what
White decks
Matt has here. Better versions of it have one toughness, Nimble Blade, or Nefcrop Entangler, and other high power one toughness creatures, and it lines up fine against a lot of the exert creatures. It's sometimes you lose a mana, but
and that's still where you are now.
I think so. Black doesn't really have that many good commons. What do you?
No,
think?
it doesn't. For me, it's Black Cartouche for basically the same reason.
So
like, and that's another card that is crucial to beating. Like, fundamentally, Black's thing seems to be that it's good against white, which is the best color.
Yeah. To this day, I think I've cast the Black Cartouche maybe 2 times. I wasn't taking them high enough in drafts.
It's
apparently
really...
I was never willing to first pick it, and I never saw them. So I do agree that Cartouche could definitely be better than Splendid Agony because it kind of has the same effect. Whereas you want to stunt their growth early, and then you get to stabilize and gain some life back. But one of the things that kind of skewed my pick was I ended up in blue-black a lot because a lot of people at the draft camp I was at knew that blue-black was bad, as did I, but I wanted to try to make it work. And one of the things that did make it work was Splendid Agony, whereas Black Cartouche wasn't great in the blue-black decks because you don't have very many good early creatures in blue-black. You don't really cast them.
Interestingly, that was obviously my intuition also. Sam discovered eventually that, I mean, blue-black's bad, like you said, but when it was good enough, Black Cartouche was often played an important role just because, like, you just really needed as much of, like, stuff like that and Splendid Agony as you could get to compete with the white decks. But also, you would have things like Cryptic Serpent, or Horror of the Broken Lands, or Pitiless Vizier, which are all really good targets. You would not have a lot of targets, so it could run into the problem where it could rot a little bit, but the few you had were very good, and the effect was super important.
Yeah, no, that's totally reasonable. I'm kind of curious what... Steve's attack seemed a little aggressive to me. I don't really know. I was thinking a card like Limited of Solidarity, for instance, could have just lost him the game, which is a card there was multiple of in the draft. I don't know where they landed. Yep. You might know better than I do.
Yeah.
But like,
it's a solid card against Glorybringer.
Yeah.
It doesn't solve the problem, but it could it could win you the game before it can, they play it, you steal it, kill a guy, exert it. You could win the game before that thing comes back. All right. Well,
Steve's just gonna
almost no ways
to make sure the coast is clear, and then
it doesn't. Yeah.
And then go for the kill the Takrop Elite. And
yep.
Looks like them boys tied it up 1-1.
One for Madison, one for Glorybringer.
Yeah. So, I think Sam's deck looks really good. I think he's very live to 3-0. I don't think my deck matches up particularly well against his.
Severa's deck is a lot more medium.
Yeah, Severa's deck, I definitely think I could beat. We haven't seen yours yet. We haven't seen mine yet, but I think Sam has a good chance of running the table with his deck. He got a very hard to, almost like a hexproof deck or whatever. Just put a bunch of auras on creatures.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of stuff to deal with that. It wasn't even like bounce cards. Maybe a Floodwater or something. I didn't even see Windsor or anything.
Ephro, it comes back immediately. Are you talking about Glorybringer when it's exerted? Does it not work the way I think it does?
It does not. When you limit a exert creature, it reads it does not untap on your next turn. So when they get the creature back, I mean you still get to hit them, exert it, and kill their guy. It's still pretty effective.
Okay, that's good to know though. That's good to know.
Yeah,
I actually had it come up. It was just this pipe dream that existed. I never actually play Limits of Solidarity, but all right, we got some commercials and then some more Magic.